Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love. Now, most of you know I've lost over 100 pounds. So today I want to talk about 5 foods that are completely carbless, okay? These are 0 carb foods that are great for weight loss. They're diabetic friendly. They're perfect for you if you are trying to minimize carbs and just focus on protein, okay? I feel like when you're on a weight loss journey, a lot of times it can be so confusing and you're like, oh my God, what do I eat? Can I eat this? Can I eat that? Especially when you are living a low carb lifestyle. I think when you go out grocery shopping or you're at a restaurant and you're like, oh my God, I can't eat pizza and I can't have dessert and I can't have this. And so I know because I've been there, done that. And so that's where a lot of these recipes that are already on my channel, that's where they actually came about. So I want to share them with you because a lot of times you have to go and search, and I want to make it easy for you to see boom, 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 back to back recipes that you can have, you can enjoy. These are very much like comfort foods that we grew up eating, but they are completely carbless, okay? They are 0 carbs, they are loaded with protein, and they are so delicious. So I have I have my notes here so that we don't forget. We're gonna start off very strong. We're starting off with a 0 carb crust pizza, okay? Now, this pizza is one of my absolute favorites. Thousands and thousands of you have made them. If you were to serve this to someone and not tell them that it is a 0 carb crust pizza, they would not know. They would literally enjoy it to the max. It is super, super filling. The thing I love about this is that it is loaded with protein. So the crust is actually a chicken crust, okay? And I know you're probably thinking like, ew, or maybe you're thinking like, how does that taste like actual bread? I don't know how, but it does. Okay, this is definitely one of the most praised recipes on my channel. I think anyone who tries it usually is like, OMG, I love it. It's a 10 out of 10. So if you're a pizza lover, this is a 0 carb crust. Now, the only carbs that you will be adding onto this is probably your sauce. Just do a low sugar sauce. And then I usually do a meat lover. So I do like the ground beef, I do ground sausage, pepperoni, and then I always love adding a little bit of mushrooms and just like extra little toppings. But anyway, I had to share this one with you because pizza is something that most of us absolutely love, but when you are on a weight loss journey, it's one of the first things that you have to stay away from. So not anymore. You do not have to X out pizza if you are on a weight loss journey because you have this recipe, okay? So that is definitely one. And if you've tried it, please comment down below. Let me know what you think. I love reading your reviews. I love just seeing, any modifications that you guys make or any additional toppings or anything that you guys do to the recipes. I always like just seeing the fun that you guys have with them, okay? So, my coffee is almost 0 carb. Here's the thing. Even though I don't always stick to 0 carbs, because that's more like, I would say that's definitely more of a carnivore or just like an ultra low carb diet. The only time I go ultra low carb is if I'm actively trying to lose weight. I think if I'm more maintenance or I'm trying to lose a few pounds but not actively trying to lose weight, then I just do like my low carb, like I usually do. But for my coffee, if you are a coffee drinker, I would say be very careful with the creamers. A lot of creamers out in the grocery stores are loaded with sugar, even though I feel like the labels are very misleading. If you look at a label, it usually says like maybe 4 grams of sugar, but that's per tablespoon. And nobody is doing 1 tablespoon. You're probably doing between 4 to 8, depending on how heavy you go with the creamer. So just be very, very careful about that, especially if you are actively trying to lose weight, because if you're exercising, if you're walking, if you are eating low carb and you're like, why am I not seeing the results that I want? Then pay attention to the small things that you're eating on the side. Your coffee drinks, your juices, your smoothies, they can have hidden sugars or they can be loaded with sugars, and that is definitely gonna stall your weight loss. So for me, I usually just do a little bit of unsweetened almond milk, and then I do like a creamer. It's kind of like an almond-based creamer. It doesn't have sugar, and there's a few of them, and I can share those with you if you are interested in knowing like the creamers that I buy. I personally like making my creamers as well, but my coffee is super, super important to me. That's something that I do not give up no matter what. And right now I'm drinking Everyday Dose. I absolutely love it. It has functional mushrooms, nootropics, and collagen. You already know collagen collagen is amazing for hair, skin, and nails. It also has an entire stack of 19 amino acids. This has 80% less caffeine than a traditional coffee, but you still get that boost of energy that we're all looking for without the crash, no jitters. And then it's also great for your gut. It's great for your mental clarity. You know how a lot of coffees, after you drink like a big cup of coffee, you feel kind of bloated? The best thing about this is like you get no bloat. It boosts your energy. It elevates your mood. It's great for your gut health, and it enhances focus. So I'm obviously having this here at home today, but when I'm on the go, I like making me a batch. I throw it in my tumbler with some ice, and it literally tastes so much better than anything that I'll grab at a coffee shop while I'm out. So I'll go ahead and leave it linked in the description below. I do have a discount code. Just use Low Carb Love YT. You actually get 50% off your first order, but make sure you check out their coffee starter kits because they give free gifts throughout the year. So moving on to zero carb pancakes. I feel like pancakes are definitely like a huge comfort food. Pancakes are the foods that I have for sure on the weekends. Like that is not something I'm having Monday through Friday. It's definitely for me like a Saturday or Sunday type of, brunch. So if you are also like a pancake lover, but you're trying to stay on track. Now these pancakes are lighter, obviously, than a traditional pancake batter, but they have the flavor. And then on top of that, if you're adding butter, if you're adding some berries, if you are adding your favorite, low sugar syrup or even maple syrup, depending on, where you're at. But we're talking zero carb here. So I would do maybe like a sugar-free. I would even eat them just alone. I've tried them several times. I actually personally love them. I feel like if I am trying to stay on track and I am really actually trying to see the scale move, but I'm still able to enjoy these pancakes, I am like in heaven. You know what I mean? Because most of the times you're gonna have to stick to the ground beef, you're gonna have to stick to your eggs and stuff like that for breakfast. Because most of the time, if you wanna see that scale move, you're gonna have to be super, super restrictive, right? It's gonna be like eggs, ground beef, steak, salmon. Like you're gonna have to just stick to that protein to really, really see that scale move. So the fact that you're able to enjoy pizza, you're able to enjoy pancakes, and I'm gonna tell you a few of the others that I have on here, then it is a win-win situation here, okay? So pancakes, we already know. You can add your toppings of choice, add some peanut butter, add some berries, but the fact that we do have a recipe for zero carb pancakes is what I'm the most excited about, okay? So I feel like they look like real pancakes, they taste like real pancakes, so if you are a pancake lover, they are here for you. Okay, and moving on to another fan favorite, we have chicken nuggets. Okay, so if you have kiddos that you're trying to, you're just trying to make a healthier version of a chicken nugget. If you are a chicken nugget lover, then these here are zero carb. They're actually made with Parmesan cheese and eggs. I do have another version with zero carb protein powder, but I don't know. I feel like the one with eggs and parm, I just really love it. I feel like it's super, super light, but it still gives me the feel of just having a regular chicken nugget, okay? So those we already know. You can do, you can use your favorite dips. I would do something a little bit more on the lower carb side, like maybe some ranch, maybe even make like a little secret sauce, which would be more of like a Thousand Islands or something like that. If you want to do ketchup, they do have a zero carb and a zero sugar, I should say, a zero sugar ketchup. So that is obviously going to help. But the fact that you're able to make a zero carb chicken nugget, I think that it is, I don't know, I just think that it is so helpful to be able to diversify your menu throughout the week, especially when you are really, really trying to see that scale move, okay? And I have a ton of recipes on my ultra low carb meal plan. I'll leave that link for you as well. If you're just getting started, this is one of your first videos, you're like, oh my God, I want to lose weight, I don't know what to do. I'll leave that link for you as well. It's worked for me, it's worked for my daughter, and it's worked for thousands of people. So if you're a little lost or you're just a little confused as to where to go, then I'll have that in the description below for you, okay? But at least here, you know that you can make some of these recipes and it's gonna get you through those days where you're like, I am craving junk food, like what can I make? You can make these recipes. So chicken nuggets for the win. You definitely can't have French fries with this, but I feel like you can have an entire basket of chicken nuggets and you're gonna have a ton of protein and you're gonna keep it super, super, super low carb, okay? So if you have family members or friends that are diabetic, these are perfect for them. So make sure that you're sharing my channel and sharing these recipes with people that you know are trying to, that are trying to keep their food very, very low carb. Okay, now moving on to our zero carb brownies. Yes, you heard that right. Zero carb brownies that actually taste like brownies. So this was a recipe that went viral on Instagram, viral on TikTok. Thousands of people were remaking it. I did get a few comments where it was like, oh, you know, because again, you have to understand whenever you are making recipes like this that are comfort foods, but we are converting them to a zero carb or ultra low carb recipe, then there are gonna be some modifications in there that are just a little different. So not only is this a zero carb brownie, but it's also made with just 2 ingredients, okay? Isn't that crazy? Like a 2 ingredient brownie. So it's actually made with 0 net carb chocolate chips and eggs. And I know you're probably like, no way. There is no way that that tastes like a brownie. Yes, it does. Okay, I'm telling you, it tastes like a real brownie. And then of course, if you want to add nuts or you want to add like any additional toppings to that, then that's your, you know, obviously these are your brownies. It is your choice, but I am sharing with you the just kind of like a solid base where you can have brownies that are 0 carbs. Okay, moving on to another dessert because we are dessert lovers in this house, right? We are. So cheesecake. Cheesecake for years was one of my absolute favorite desserts. The thing about cheesecake that makes it difficult to make it 0 carb and to make it gluten-free is the crust, because the crust is obviously made with flour and butter and like sugar and stuff like that. So the way to make a 0 carb cheesecake is to make it crustless, okay? So I have 2 versions. I have a version where you can actually cook it and bake it in the oven, and then I also have a no bake. Okay, so you can do either or. They both turn out amazing. I've made both several times. The more of the traditional cheesecake that's actually baked, I've probably made this recipe like 30 times, maybe even more, but I was making it at least once a week when I first came up with it. And then I kind of, you know, I don't know if you go through stages where you eat like certain foods all the time and then you kind of get tired of it. I got tired of it for a little bit, but now I'm back on the cheesecake train. Okay, we're back on the cheesecake bandwagon. So the thing about cheesecake is that you can add berries, you can add peanut butter, you can add chocolate, you can add nothing. Like you could literally make little mini cheesecake bites, you can make an entire pie, you can make bars, you can do whatever you want. So just know, like, I guess the point to this video is that I want you to know that these options are available, okay? I don't want you to think that, oh my God, I'm gonna be so restricted, like I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna be so miserable, how am I gonna stick to this? No, you are gonna stick to it. You're gonna stick to it because there are options out there, and at the end of the day, it's just about choices, okay? So we're gonna make the right choices, you're gonna stay on track, you're gonna see that scale move, and you are going to reach your goal, okay? I'm gonna finish off with the tortilla, and I absolutely love this. This is a 0 carb tortilla. It's more of like, you could think of it as a tortilla, you could think of it as a wrap, you could think of it as a little baby personalized pizza. You can literally use it for anything. You can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, for dinner. So basically just think of it as like a chicken wrap, you know? So, but you can make breakfast tacos with it. You can go either way. And I feel like it is super convenient. It is so clean. Like it literally doesn't have all these weird ingredients. I don't know if you've ever looked at the back of a tortilla package, but it has like 20 ingredients and you're just like, why? Like, what is all this? Like, I can't even pronounce this. These tortillas, I feel, are just very, they're just very clean. You can use them for, you know, pretty much any meal and swap it out for a regular tortilla. But on top of that, you're gonna stay nice and full, and you're gonna load up on your protein. So remember, protein is so important. That's what's gonna help keep you full. That's what's gonna help keep you satisfied throughout the day. And then if you're adding some healthy fats into there, that's where you're gonna stay full for hours, okay? Those are pretty much some foods that I felt are like pretty crucial for a weight loss journey. I think a lot of times when you are starting off, you're thinking like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to give this up and I'm gonna give this up. And then like, I feel that's where a lot of like maybe anxiousness comes in and just like a lot of uncertainty, because you're like, I know me, like I know I love food and how am I gonna do this? So I wanted to share this because I want you to see that there are options, okay? And you are gonna stick to it. And then you're gonna be so happy and you're gonna feel so fulfilled and you're just gonna wanna do better and better and better. So at first, I think like we all start focusing on weight loss, but then little by little, it just becomes a health thing. And that's when you start to really, really focus on like becoming the healthiest version of yourself, you know? I always tell people like focus on health and the weight loss will follow. But hey, whatever works for you. If you have to focus on just losing the weight, then do that. Ultimately, we all want to be healthy. We all want to be, you know, in a normal weight range. So I'm here for you. Okay. I'm here. I'm going to share as much as I can. I try to share everything that I wish I would have had when I was on my weight loss journey. But either way, I hope this video was helpful. Again, please share this with everyone you know that is on a weight loss journey or that might be a little stuck, or maybe just trying to make healthier versions of some of their favorite foods, because a lot of this could be super, super helpful to them. But thank you so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you on my next video. Mwah.